Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this is likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up the Bills! It's not outside! It's not outside! Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Homie, now listen. Everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition. They say we tripping. They better get out our way. Top of the table, we flipping. We on a mission. Got an unstoppable team. Continue to follow your dream by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo.
And a good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. I am one of your co-hosts here, Beyond 716, just joining us here on this Wednesday evening, Thanksgiving Eve. And I think Whittle may be joining us, so we're just kind of waiting to hear back. So I figured we would get started. It's Thanksgiving Eve, and hope you and your family have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And again, we have a lot to be thankful for in this world. As we know, right now, it doesn't feel like we have a lot to be thankful for when it comes to our Buffalo Bills, but we're going to get into that tonight. We'll talk about the game in Houston. We'll talk about the tough game, tough loss on Thursday night down in our House of Horrors under Josh Allen. Now he is 0-4 in his career against the Houston Texans in Houston. So it has not been a kind place to the Buffalo Bills. We'll also go over some of the news of the week, including our new receiver, Brandin Cooks, who's in the building. We'll continue to maybe speculate on Keon Coleman, whether he'll be coming back or not. Well, and again, hopefully we'll get Whittle here. But if not, I at least wanted to get some content up tonight and get your thoughts on the game. We want to hear from you about where you think the Bills are. They're currently sitting at 7-4 right now in the division. The division looks out of reach at this point, to be perfectly honest, folks. It does not look good to be, we're very honest and very in our assessments of where the Bills are on coast to coast. That's one of the things I'm thankful for and love doing this podcast with Whittle, because we tell it like it is here, folks. We're not going to sugarcoat things on this network, on our show in particular, about our quarterbacks play, about our team's play in general. I mean, right now, we're at a point now with this team, I feel, I don't want to push the panic button, but we're getting close. There's still time to go. We still have 6 weeks, of course, left in the season. As we know, there are many things that could happen that could certainly change this around. We have seen this from this team before. We have seen times where they have certainly found a way to come back and get on point again. So hopefully the Bills will find a way to get off the schneid here, basically, and get back to their winning ways. As now, the margin for error is almost gone at this point. And that's some of the differences we're going to get into as we go through the pod tonight. in terms of what are the differences. We've seen this before from the Buffalo Bills. We saw this in 22. We even saw this in 21. We have to remember, folks, that we wax poetic about the Brian Dable days and the 2021 Bills that came oh so close in 13 seconds. That team was 7-6 at one point, folks. Right? We're 7-4 right now. Obviously, things are a little bit different in our division this year, and we're going to get into that as well. But let's go back and talk a little bit about the Houston game that was Thursday night. And there's a lot to unpack from this game. We knew going in this was going to be a very difficult matchup. And as Whittle really talked about a lot, and we both talk about it, the kind of game that we needed from number 17, right? Now, if you look at his stat line, if you just look at the pure completions and yards, 24 of 34 for 253. If you told me going into the night that that's what we were going to get from Josh Allen, I would have said, that's great. I think that's exactly what we need against this type of team, in this type of environment, against that type of defense. That is what the Buffalo Bills would need to get this W, right? Against a quarterback in Davis Mills, who's, he's a game manager. He's a backup for a reason. He's not a terrible quarterback by any stretch. He is a competent backup quarterback in the NFL. He's certainly not CJ Stroud, but you could see that what the Bills were going to need was a magic number of about in the 20s. 24 was what I was thinking going in, and turns out they lost 23-19. Game gets off to a good start. We go right down the field, and then James Cook, who's been just, what can we say about Jimbo? Number 4. Let's give a shout out to James Cook here. He's been incredible. And remember, speaking of shout outs, make sure you give Do Champions a follow here on our pod. I also have a personal announcement. My previous Twitter account was hacked. Ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, an IT pro, so to speak, I just realized that I may have been on mute this whole time, folks. Welcome to the edition of Coast to Coast, and I certainly apologize if I've been sitting here talking this whole time. Can you all hear me? And please let me know. And I'm going to reset this whole show. It has been one of those nights. Maybe it's kind of like the Bills. Maybe it's a sign of what the Bills have really become here. And I got this new microphone, and I was talking about where to get to us. Get to us on Do Champions, at Do Champions. You can see it at the top. In addition, I have a public service announcement. This is my new handle on Twitter. My new handle on Twitter is beyond_716 because yours truly got hacked on my old account. So if you see my old account, report it as spam. If you don't mind, if anybody out there can give me a follow here, I'd certainly appreciate it. I will absolutely follow you back. Johnny had a question. Is Whittle off tonight? I don't know. I thought we were talking in a space earlier. It sounded like it was a normal night. I know he said he had to work a little bit this weekend, but hopefully he's okay. And I did text him. I have not heard from him, but I figured we start this up tonight, and hopefully the one and only Whittle will be joining us tonight, because I know it's really difficult to keep this going, and I really want to hear a lot of his thoughts, because I really appreciate some of the honesty, the brutal honesty that when you rewatch film and you look at the numbers and you look at things, we got to talk real about where this franchise is right now at this point. So we want to hear from you tonight. Definitely want to hear your thoughts if you're in our group chat. I don't want to sit here and babble all night. I definitely want to hear where you feel where the Bills are at this point. So we were talking about this game Thursday night, and I always thought the magic number was about 24, give or take, given those times. And look, we lost 23-19. So game starts off, James Cook gets a touchdown. We all know the whole story. The extra point, to me, it was, even at the time, I said that is not a good table setter for me to miss that extra point. It just feels like we kicked 2 field goals and we were up 6-0. I know we scored a touchdown and that was great, but we needed that 7-0 lead, get off to that great start. We did not get it. But the game went exactly kind of how we thought. And again, Josh Allen's stat line, 24 of 34, 253, sounded about right to me. If you think about going into this matchup against a very tough Houston defense, but I'll tell you what, that team, talk about athleticism, and DeMeco Ryans is doing a great job in Houston. I really like him as a coach, and And if you've been listening to our pod, I picked Houston to go to the AFC title game back in August, and I still believe it. So I really think Houston's going to be a menace, and I really want to knock them out almost Thursday night, but we did not get it done. But Johnny had a question here, and I appreciate the feedback here. What do you think about the wide receiver signing Cook, and what are your thoughts on cutting Elijah Moore? Well, let's get into that. We were going to save it, but we're going to kind of go off topic tonight. And we're going to spitfire a lot of stuff about the Bills because that's how the Bills feel right now. They feel like a mumbled mess at some point. So about Brandin Cooks. Now, listen, we're not getting the Brandin Cooks of yesteryear a few years ago, right? This is a guy that ran a 4.3, almost a sub 4.4, 4.3 when he came out in the draft. I believe it was 2014, 2015. He's a guy that has had some big years. He's been around the league a little bit. He's played for New Orleans twice. He's played with Dallas and Houston. He's had some big years. He's had some years. He's had 80 catches and 90 catches. He's had long touchdowns. He had a 98-yarder, I remember years ago. Like, he's a big play guy. He can make things happen. So I think for what the Bills need, I think this is a good thing. I think it's a low risk, medium reward. I don't think we're going to get a high reward out of this, essentially because of the McCall Hardman. And now you also mentioned Elijah Moore. Now, Elijah Moore, I was pretty excited about this move. I want to bring this comment up again. When we originally brought him in, I didn't expect, of course, 75, 80 receptions, but we saw some signs even in Cleveland last year playing with Jameis Winston. He was capable of those 8, 9 reception games where Elijah Moore could be an integral part of a game here and there. Didn't even come close here in Buffalo. Is that a scheme thing? Is that a Joe Brady thing? Is it a Josh and Elijah Moore thing? But again, the one thing about the Bills that there was a narrative in 2019 and 2020 that we heard a lot, and it was true. A receiver would come to Buffalo and Josh Allen would elevate his game. Diggs, Brown, Cole Beasley, all these guys that came to us, to Buffalo to play with Josh, would elevate their game, would have bigger numbers. Last couple of years, that hasn't really been the case. Shakir aside, of course, but Shakir was a draft pick. But, some of these guys we brought in, like Elijah Moore and some of the players, they've been a little bit disappointing. Joshua Palmer's been injured. But I would say Elijah Moore, disappointment. I was really hoping. I don't feel like, though, this is a lateral move. I do think Cooks can give us a little bit more of a skill set. He's a kind of guy he could get in space. He could get in those little crevices that you need to get open and just make those kind of veteran type plays that you kind of need as you go down the stretch. Again, is this a guy that we're going to see big numbers from? Like, is he going to have an Amari Cooper impact from last year? Probably not. I mean, probably not to that effect, but maybe. Is he a true number one at this point? No. Last year, this year he's only had 3 starts, 19 catches for $165, only 8 yards a pop. But again, that's with Spencer Rattler and also Tyler Show in New Orleans. Not exactly the type of repertoire. He only had 25 targets, but he caught the ball 19 times. This guy's had a really nice career. He's almost up to 730 catches. He's had a really very solid. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's a guy that's had a very productive career. So I'm hoping he at least gives some stability. He's got a little chip on his shoulder. I heard his comments earlier. He was talking about how he felt about he wants to really show. So hopefully, he's coming into a situation now where he's in a playoff race. He's on a team that you would think if the Bills win on Sunday should take care of the playoffs for us. But I appreciate the comment, Johnny. And I want your opinion or anybody else's opinion out there about what we think about Brandin Cooks. And again, I know Brandon Beane has taken a lot of criticism in terms of not getting the receiver at the deadline. And of course, it goes back to the WGR thing where Brandon Beane kind of teed off on Jeremy on that station, Jeremy White, if I remember correctly, about the wide receivers, got a little snarky, kind of unbean-like, right? Brandon Beane is a guy that seems like a great guy, has a lot of integrity. And I still think he does. I'm not saying he doesn't, but it was just a comment. It's just the kind of feedback we heard. It's like, wow, Brandon Beane really said that. Wow, I was really surprised. So that's where we're at with that. So, and then the wide receiver room obviously is a problem. We've been bringing back Gabe Davis. We're bringing in Brandin Cooks. And then, of course, the benching or quasi suspension of Keon Coleman. So we'll see what happens with that. But right now, the wide receivers are getting a lot of attention. Right now, right? We've talked about the wide receivers ad nauseum, and in this Houston game again, this Houston game is probably not a great example of that. This was the kind of game we weren't going to see a lot of production, and again, but we're going to get into why we lost that game in particular. But Johnny has another good question that I would love to talk about now, and keep the comments coming. I really appreciate it. And anybody else out there, again, make sure you give us a follow on Twitter. And if you're coming in now, I'm not sure if Whittle will be here tonight. I hope he's okay. I haven't heard from him, but we know Whittle. He finds ways. So hopefully he will join us tonight. But Johnny had another comment here. With Spencer Brown and Dawkins possibly not playing Sunday, yes, we're going to get into, in fact, we're going to segue into that in a second. How much trouble is Allen in with the offensive line protection? Well, I mean, there could be, that's a heavy question because there's a lot of unknowns here. Now Spencer Brown has had his moments where he's been out of our lineup, but Deion Dawkins has been an absolute stalwart, right? And maybe we may be looking at Chase Lunt at left tackle. I'm not sure if we're going to move Edwards there, who we're going to put at right tackle. Maybe we put Alec Anderson there. We'll have to see how that all works. With that, Dawkins has not been his typical self lately, in my opinion. And I read some comments on Twitter. They said Deion really hasn't looked right this whole week. So I'd be very surprised if Deion Dawkins plays this week. And with concussions, you got to be very careful, right? Even though this is a must win, in my opinion, this game, I wouldn't say it's a terminal season, but it's a very, very important game in Pittsburgh this Sunday. You still have to play the long game, not only with Deion this year, but years going, right? You don't want to have multiple concussions and become a big problem. So it is going to be a problem, especially with TJ Watt on the other side, right? That's something else to think about. The Steelers, I mean, this isn't the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. This isn't your uncle's Steelers defense. Let's put it that way. And we're going to get into that a little bit too. And I'm hoping Whittle joins us because I love the way he breaks down the other team. And he just knows, he forgets more than I know about some of these teams at this point. But we'll do the best we can tonight. And we push forward. So I think it's going to be I wouldn't say it's going to be difficult. I would expect Joe Brady to look for Josh Allen to get in rhythm, maybe shorter passing, maybe quick passing, get it out quick, try to negate some of that Pittsburgh Steelers pass rush. Up front, they still have the old stalwarts like Cameron Hayward, and they got a second-round pick, nose tackle Keanu Benton and Derek Harmon on the edge, and you still got, again, J.J. Watt floating out there. T.J. Watt. Do that at least once a year. So it's going to be a challenge, especially in Pittsburgh. And Sal Capaccio talked about this too. We're going to get into that matchup as well. We'll get into some other specifics. But yes, I think it's going to be tough. So again, we're about 18 minutes in. And again, if you are here, we want to hear from you tonight. And so we'll see if Whittle will join us. I certainly hope so. But again, we will press on the best we can tonight. So we're about 20 minutes in. Let's segue again. What went wrong in Houston? Well, one of my things about Josh Allen is I think he gets bored, folks. And the other thing is, that's one thing. Number two, we've talked about this, and I've made this comment before in this pod. He is the most physically gifted quarterback. I've been watching football for 40 plus years. I've never seen anybody like Josh Allen. And I'm not saying that he's the best quarterback ever because of it, but what I'm telling you is he's the best physically gifted quarterback when you factor in all the variables, everything. Right? Release, won't release, quick release, arm strength, ability to move in the pocket, speed, power, everything you could put. If you can mold a perfectly sculpted physical quarterback, I think Josh Allen's what you're going to come out with most of the time. He's almost perfect. He's got the size, he's got everything you want. But Josh Allen has some weaknesses, as we know, right? And I think one of those weaknesses sometimes is that he makes some mistakes when he shouldn't. There are throws that he is missing in these games, and we're going to get into that in a second. But this was a game, and we've seen this before with the Zach Wilson losses against the Jets. We've seen this with the Dolphins game a few weeks ago. We saw this against Michael Penix and the Falcons on Monday night. These are not quarterbacks that are going to blow your doors off. They're okay. I mean, Michael Penix has his moments, right? We know CJ Stroud going this game. You figure, okay, Josh, give me the numbers you had, but the interceptions and the sacks just killed our field position, and it hurt the defense. And I thought the defense in this game overall was my one problem with the Bills defense right now is it's a tale of two halves. Like we see first half, not very good, second half, very good, but I just want more consistency across the board. So maybe we don't get down in games. Maybe we don't have to come back the way we do. But overall, I thought the Bills did enough on defense to win this game. And I noticed defense, the injuries are piling up, and we're going to get into the injury report in a little while, pivoting to our Pittsburgh game. But there were some sacks in this game that I thought Josh Allen should have thrown the ball away. Just get rid of it. And this is sometimes the detriment. I know Josh wants to make a play. He is so gifted. He is so skilled. And we've seen so many times where Josh can make that play. He can make that big throw. He can make that huge play down the field. And in this game, this didn't really call for it all the time. I wanted to see, Whittle spoke about it on one of our last things, WWJD, what would Jalen do? And what would Jalen do? Jalen Hurts? Well, it started happening in some of the games they played this year. Eagles, just a segue, they played against the Packers in a tough 10-7 game. Jalen Hurts just threw the ball away at times, but when he had to make a big throw, he made it late. He made a couple. You don't get a lot of big throws in these games. You just need a couple. You need one or two plays to flip the game. But most of football, most of being a great quarterback is just playing boring football. 4-yard passes, 5 check downs in front of you, whatever the defense gives you. They're playing too high, no problem. There's guys underneath that are open. We started utilizing the running backs a little bit more. That's been nice to see in the passing game. There's some things that I liked that we saw in this game. You could see what Khalil Shakir could do in space when he gets the ball. That one great play he had where it was like a 2-yard pass on the side, and he made some shifty moves and got 20-plus yards down the field. I mean, that was incredible. That was vintage Shakir. And those are the kind of things we got to do. And Josh Allen, I think he feels going into this game, it's a Thursday night game. It's prime time. He knows how he struggled in Houston. He had his UCL injury there his rookie year. He struggled. He lost the playoff game that we should have won in 2019. Thank you, refs. And then we had the horrible game last year, the rematch against Diggs, the 9-31, the horror show down in Houston. So Josh Allen was chomping at the bit walking into Houston. He wanted to prove a point, coming off a dominant game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who their defense is a sieve of what they used to be right now. They have a lot of injuries as well. But you felt Josh Allen's back. And sometimes that hurts him in these situations. What I find fascinating about Josh Allen this year, they're the games like, for example, Kansas City. Kansas City was a game where you could say, that's where we need a little bit of the cape Josh Allen. You're playing Patrick Mahomes. You need to go out there and win the game. How did Josh Allen attack that game? Check downs, a lot of underneath stuff. Very, very, very efficient game. Exactly what we needed Thursday night. But Josh Allen decides against David Mills, against a backup quarterback, he decides this is the night I'm going to try to play hero ball a little bit more when we needed more efficiency. So sometimes he gets it reverse. So somebody's got to get in his head. Somebody's got to not be afraid to tell Josh, listen, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to succeed. You will put the cape on at some point. There are going to be moments when we need Josh Allen to be like the 13-second game or in the playoffs when he comes up with these big plays. We do need that, but people got to understand. Fans have to understand that when you look at a lot of quarterbacks, the great quarterbacks over the years, and you start breaking down their great games, like even Tom Brady, go look at his game logs from all his playoff games. You're going to see some games where he just throws for like 180 yards, checks down a lot, efficient, no turnovers. They win. Right? Perfect example. Last year in the playoffs against Baltimore, Josh Allen did not do much in that game. But you know what he did? He did not turn the ball over. And that was the difference in the game. Lamar Jackson had more yards. Lamar Jackson had more passes. Lamar Jackson had more everything. And Where did it get them? 3 turnovers, Bills win the game, they advance to the AFC Championship game. So that was my disappointment with Josh in this game. Now, again, I don't know where do they go from here. We're sitting at 7-4. That was a tough loss on Thursday night. Yours truly thought if we win this game, that we would advance. We would go all the way to the Super Bowl. I felt like this was such a big game that we needed to do that. So, but anyway, I digress. But here we are. We're in a tough situation now again. And what makes this tough too is now Houston is 1 game behind us. They're pushing hard, and they're going to win a tiebreaker over us. And if Buffalo loses this Sunday against Pittsburgh, that's 2 teams behind us. The Bills will flip out of the playoffs, and we lose the tiebreakers to the Steelers and the Houston Texans. This game is massive on Sunday. And Josh, these is costing the Bills some wins. And I agree. And listen, I love Josh Allen. Josh Allen's the reason we're a Super Bowl contender. We all know this, but we have to stop kissing the ground he walks on, folks. He is a franchise quarterback. Don't be afraid to critique him and criticize him. It's okay. He's going to live. He's not going to demand a trade because someone on Twitter is looking at him like me. Like he's going to say, what, Beyond 716? He didn't like the way I played. I want out of Buffalo. I'm out of here. No, it's not happening. So my guy, Dog. So there you go. It's always great to see you, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, man. I'm really thankful for all of you here that join us all the time. I'm hoping Whittle joins us tonight. I've not heard from Whittle right now. I know I spoke to him earlier, and it didn't sound like he didn't say he wasn't coming on tonight, but I didn't actually clear it with him because we've been so busy with work and then getting stuff ready for Thanksgiving, and then I hopped on here. But I figured I would do some content anyway just to get it up here on the board. And again, if you're late, I just want to give another public service announcement for anybody out there on Twitter. Please give me a follow here at Beyond_716. My other account was hacked. Please give me a follow. I'll absolutely follow you back. I can't remember everybody's handle. Really want to get my followers back up again and start doing that. So please do that. I would love to hear from you. And you too as well, Dog. It's great. It's a blessing. We love having you on here every week, and it's great. I love our interactions in our spaces. It's the best. So look forward to many, many, many more. So again, the Bills are in a tough spot, folks. And now I've heard a lot of Bills Mafia right now. There's bickering going on, right? It's not, you have some fans that are saying it's over. You have some fans saying that, oh, we're going to be just fine. We've done this before. But what are the real differences between this year's and years past? Well, obviously, the first thing you look at on the surface is the division. In the past, we were 5-5. Okay, we were 5-5 after that Denver debacle with the 12 men on the field. But the division wasn't as tough. We knew 11 wins could still do it. 11 wins is not cutting it this year, folks, right? And New England's won 9 in a row, which is unbelievable. But we're going to get into that later as well. But right now they're 2.5 games out. And the other thing is the Bills are 2-2 in the division. New England has not lost a game in the division. So therefore, even if the Bills beat them, that's only 1 division loss for them. Then they have to lose another one. And then I'm not sure where the tiebreaker goes after that. So Buffalo's going to have a real hard time, folks, winning that division. They're going to have a New England comeback. I believe we're in trouble. We could be, Johnny. And, something else that, and the Pats do have an easy schedule. I agree with you on that. I was talking in a space with a Jeff fan earlier. His name is Matty Ice. He's great. He's a good fan. And he made a good point. He said, guys, sometimes when teams have great runs like the Bills do, you just have a year where you just don't have it, right? Like even the Patriots in their heyday, they would lose at home to Baltimore in the wild card round. And that's not when Brady was injured, by the way, folks. That's when he was healthy. And they kind of fell off a little bit, but then they got it back again together. They made some changes. It forced them to look at their roster a little bit differently. And that's what I'm hoping the Bills, if they don't get to where we want them to be, that they take a hard look at their organization, they take a hard look at their coaching staff and say, do we need to make a massive change? The answer might be yes. The answer might be no. We still have 6 weeks to go, and we still got the playoffs. So I know a lot of fans want to say, oh, McDermott's got to be fired. McDermott's got to stay. I want to see what we look like after the season because this is usually McDermott's season. This is the time of year that the Bills catch fire. They start playing their best football of the season, and all of a sudden they look like a major threat come playoff time. But my bugaboo with this team and my critique is that these games cost us the number 1 seed all the time. And that's Buffalo has the best home record this decade, and it's not close. I think it's like 81% or 82%. It's incredible how that happened. So the Sabres lost again, folks. If you are a hockey fan, yep, they're back to normal. Bad loss tonight in Pittsburgh. Just saw that on my board here. So again, lots coming up. We got some good games tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Got Black Friday game, Eagles, Bears, I believe, and then our game Sunday. Remember, our game is 4:25. I believe that's a Romo Nance game, if I am correct, but I haven't heard that for sure. We'll see. And I'm going to check the weather in Pittsburgh as well. So again, I want to hear your thoughts on the game on Thursday night. And just to kind of circle back to that, and Dog will like this. And he is really gonna, looks like maybe there may be some liftoff from Whittle here, but we'll see what happens. But I'm going to just go over that last play again. The last drive. So gets to 4th and 27. And as soon as we made that hook and lateral play, we got the first down. Dog, you know what that reminded me of? 4th and 26, Donovan McNabb against the Packers to Freddie Mitchell, if you remember that. I know you're Philly, you live in Philly, but I was like, man, is this our 4th and 26 moment? I was getting chills like, wow, is this like the play that we're going to remember for a long time, right? When we get older. Hey, remember the 4th and 27 in Houston where we turned it around and we went to 8-3 and then we took off and won the conference? But be it as it may, 4th and 1, Dawkins jumps off sides. Or false start, excuse me. But the thing that got my goat the most is how did Josh Allen miss Dawson Knox on that quick out? And again, it comes back to now part of that was, listen, the pass rush of the Houston Texans was fierce. I mean, they were after Josh all night. And sometimes it's hard to think that quickly, but he had Dawson Knox right there for an easy first down. And that pass to Gabe Davis, that was a great pass, and Gabe almost came down with it. And we just didn't get that moment. So anyway, but we are about 30 minutes in. I want to take a quick little break here, and I want to pay the bills as we do. I will be right back.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Okay, we are back, and it looks like we are going to be joined by the one and only Whittle 2K, ladies and gentlemen. I knew he'd come through tonight, but I figured we'll get it started. So, it's that time of year. It's Thanksgiving. Everybody's schedule's crazy right now. You never know what's going on right now. So, and he will be with us shortly. Let me get the stage all set here, I believe. Hopefully I have this right, but we'll see what happens once Whittle comes on stage here. So when he's ready, he will be here. But we will continue on. But yeah, that last drive again, just to kind of recap the Houston game. But I want to get Whittle's thoughts on the Houston game. There he is, the one and only Whittle 2K. How you doing?
Hey man, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Yep. Do I sound okay too? I got this new mic that I'm trying now. I got this new microphone.
Yeah, you sound really clear.
It's this right here. It's one of these. I'll show you later. I got it on Amazon for like $60. I got it for work too. It's like, I'll give it a shot. So, but it's sounding pretty good. There he is. Yep, there. Dogs. We've been waiting. Like, where's Whittle tonight? So I don't know.
I apologize, guys.
All good, brother. It's all good, man. We get it. So hope you're feeling well. And
yeah, man. Listen, my I'm assuming you're still talking about the Houston game.
We started, yeah, we got into some of it, but we didn't get down deep on that game yet. And we touched a little bit on the signing of Cooks, but we could certainly reset this and go into that as much as you like.
I mean, it's a lot of what we discussed with some other games that we lost this year, man. Ultimately, it comes down to turnovers. It comes down to the quarterback willing to take what's available underneath. But for the first time, I really feel like Joe Brady was really, really, really underwhelming. I mean, there have been other games where I didn't like a call here or a call there from Joe Brady, but this game was really this game was really kind of on Joe Brady for me. I don't think Josh played particularly well. The 8 sacks that he took. I know a lot of people are looking at the offensive line. You're looking at the receivers, and I'm sorry, guys. Um, Yeah, we don't have a top level receiver or top level receiver talent. We didn't have some shade, and all of that is relevant. All of that stuff does matter, but uh Josh really has to throw, like, he really just has to throw the football to some of these guys and allow these guys to make plays. And he's hesitant, he's clutching it, he's seeing what's on the field and not taking the opportunities that are in front of them, even if they're not the greatest opportunities. But and I'm kind of hesitant in wording this, but there really isn't a better way to word it. I think Joe Brady kind of left the offense. Um, Like, you just left the offense out to dry. It's almost the equivalent. It's almost the equivalent of driving your friends to a fight and then driving off when the fight starts, because you're going up against the best pair of edge rushers in the NFL. Like, those two are the best. Like, that's the best tandem in the league. They are the best.
Yep.
And you didn't equip them. You didn't equip the offensive line. You didn't equip the quarterback with what I thought was needed in order to maximize the opportunity to be successful. So, yes, did Josh miss open guys? Sure. Did he make bad decisions with the football that led to some turnovers or sacks? Absolutely. Josh did not play well again, but uh, you know, 5-man pressures, and a lot of this stuff is going to be repetitive. You've heard it all week. Sorry, we do our show on Wednesday, not Monday. Uh, you know, the number of 5-man protection schemes that the Bills utilized on Sunday was disgusting. It made no sense. Um, just like the Miami game, I thought that the Bills could have really benefited from some max protection schemes, some 6 or 7-man protections, which would, obviously only put 3 receivers out there, but it's going to give Josh enough time. It's going to give Josh a ton of time to really just decide, okay, they're going to drop 7, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for one of these guys to get open, or wait for one of my blockers that are eligible receivers to leak out, quick completion, or I'm just going to make some magic happen, and that's that. Instead, what we got with 5-man pressures, where 5-man protections with long developing routes downfield, and clearly Josh just wasn't taking what was underneath. So I think you just kind of have to protect him, and you have to protect him from himself, and you have to protect the tackles from being in those pass set situations with, two really, really, really talented edge rushers.
Yep.
Um, it's crazy because Spencer Brown shoulder, it looked like he obliterated his shoulder. Couldn't even lift his arm.
Mhm.
Some of those reps, towards the end before he got replaced. And Deion Dawkins ended up in concussion protocol, but he looked like he was in concussion protocol for most of the game. And I don't know. I would have leaned more on the run. Um, I would, if me personally, I would have leaned more on the run. I would have heavily leaned on 6-man protections and some 7-man protections for long development routes downfield. If that's what you're gonna do, if you know the quarterback is capable and trustworthy of Gabe Davis down the field, I'm gonna take my chances with that. Give him
Mhm.
a 6-man protection, send Gabe downfield and chuck the ball up and say, Gabe, make a play that's going to end up on Sports Center for us, bro. And you just go ahead and do that. The other thing I didn't like in the game, hold on, let me not get off of Brady that quickly. Let me get right back on Joe Brady. Joe Brady
Mhm.
is underwhelmed this entire season. The playbook this year looks like the playbook last year, and that's fine because the playbook last year was effective. But this is the NFL. You can't just run the same. You can't go back with the same stuff. It's like you can't do it. You just can't.
Yep.
You can't have the same
Absolutely.
game plan that you had last year. They know what's coming. They're ready for it. So what you would expect is an offensive coordinator to take what was successful last year,
The
touch
doggies puns.
game. I mean, things that he used a lot last year. You would expect him to take those things. Okay, we gave this particular uh, personnel look and personnel package and look and play call a lot last year. We're gonna use it again because it's already on film. It was successful and we used it a lot and it worked. All right, we're gonna use that. But now instead of, for instance, the screen to Shakir, instead of it being a screen to Shakir, let's fake the screen to Shakir, draw a play with James Cook, pull a tackle, something like that, going the
Yep.
opposite direction. You have the
Mhm.
defense now funneling towards the Shakir screen, handoff, James Cook, speed out, off tackle, whatever it is. That's a different. It's the same look. It's just a wrinkle. Or let's go with, hey, I need Shavers. I need you to sell your block. Make it look like you whiffed on the block and just leak down the field. I'm hitting you. Josh is going to hit you on the sideline. That's going to get us 12 yards, and let's do that. But what that does is, number one, it gets you first downs. Number one, it gets you first downs. Number two, it gives the defense something else they have to be on their toes about. And you want to keep them. You want to keep the defense guessing. And if you just come back out there and say, no, no, we were pretty successful taking 4-yard routes last year, so we're just going to do the same thing again. Well, clearly the quarterback doesn't want to play that way. So he's not going to. You can't, and there's nobody in the building that can make him do it. So why are we continuing to do the same thing? That's
Mhm.
my issue with Joe Brady.
Yep.
Elijah Moore, Dawson Knox, uh, and there's one more guy I'm missing. Curtis Samuel.
Yep.
Those three guys. Well, obviously Dawson Knox wasn't somewhere else, but Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore, and Joshua Palmer all were other places last year or the year before. Like they've
Mhm.
all been receivers somewhere else, and everywhere else that they've been, they look better than how they look right now.
Yep. Yeah, that was something we were talking about earlier. Remember when
Yeah,
Josh would elevate his receivers, and all of a sudden, Shakir aside, we haven't really seen that the last couple of years. So that's a troubling trend to me. But I know we've
what
changed
kills
as a
me is
team
that
too. But still,
what kills me is that None of these other guys played with better quarterbacks than Josh before they got here. So why are they not being successful? Why aren't they being used in similar ways? Why not? Why aren't we using Curtis Samuel more downfield? Why aren't we using Shakir more downfield? Why aren't we using Dawson Knox more in the receiving game? Why aren't we creating plays or situations to feature just Josh Palmer? Why are we doing that? Why are we trying to find ways to get Palmer one-on-one? Like just trying to utilize Joshua Palmer in one-on-one situations and go to him with the football. Same thing with Elijah Moore. I mean, we just cut him. Hopefully he clears waivers. Actually, I don't even think he needs to clear waivers because he's a veteran, but I'm not sure with how that's going to work, but I'm hopeful that we can get Elijah Moore back on the practice squad. Because, I think Brady's out of here at the end of this year, whether it's for him taking the job someplace else or them saying, you know what, we're just going to go in a different direction.
Yep. I could see that too, right there.
I don't know. I don't know. They seem pretty set at receiver over there. I mean, where does he fit in? He's not going to take Pop Douglas's spot. He's not going to, they're not going to take him over Matt Collins or Diggs. And I think
only thing I was thinking is bring him in for intel. Bring him in to see what the Bills are doing. I don't know if that still happens a lot nowadays.
Intel they got last year.
Yeah, true.
Need, clearly,
true. But I'm not even sure if that still happens like it used to. But
yeah, so I just those are the things that stick out to me with Joe Brady. Just failure to grow the playbook from last year. We already talked about, Josh not really playing well. The defense looked terrible in the first half again, and then magically in the second half with the same players, they look great and held the Texans to 3 points, 45 yards, and got a bunch of punts, and just the offense could not carry. So that's a tough loss. You really needed to keep pace with the Patriots, who somehow pulled out the game on Sunday that they were losing, and somehow they come back and pull it off. That was I don't know, man. But what else can I point to from that game? Just very, very surprised by Brady's decision to go with so many, shotgun, virtually empty sets, and kind of just leave Josh in that offensive line out there to fend. Basically, just left them to fend for themselves, man, and you left them out. You left them outside the wire with not a lot of provisions to combat what was coming their way. It was weird. It didn't make a lot of sense. It was. I think if anything, we did surprise the Texans, and in a negative way. We surprised them by not making it more difficult on their defensive line to really put their stamp on the game. I mean, we just kind of played right into what they want, and they got exactly what they needed. You didn't lean in on the run. James Cook 7 carries, 75 yards in the first half. I would have gave Cook, if for me, Cook would have had probably 25 carries, or close to it, at least 25 touches.
This game called for it. This game called for it.
Just unbelievably poor job by the offensive coordinator against another winnable game. But when it comes down to it, he's not on the field, and the quarterback has to play better. Josh Allen has at least 2 interceptions or at least 2 turnovers in every game we lost this year. Every single one, 2 turnovers. If you want to say that the botched handoff to Dawson Knox in the New England game isn't his fault, all right, fine. I mean, it was credited. It was credited to him, but if you want to say that, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight with you over it. But
Yeah.
against the Falcons, 2 turnovers, 2
Mhm.
interceptions. Did he have 3 in that game, or was it just 2?
But it was 2. Yeah.
Might have been, yeah. It felt like more.
It
2
did. It did
interceptions in
feel like.
that game.
Mhm.
Uh, Against Miami, interception and a fumble. Interception in the red zone, and a fumble that would have had us in field goal range if he would have held on
Mhm.
to the ball. I get it, trying to
Yep.
make a play, cool, but you can't lose the ball there. You just can't
Yep.
do it. Um, uh, and what other games did you lose? Jesus, man, it's so many now.
Feels like it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
3
We
and
talked
2.
about talked about that, and then obviously the Texans game, he had 2 interceptions. Um, just bad, man. He has not played well. Just hasn't. And all of these losses, it's turnovers. He's turned the ball over multiple times. Some of those sacks he took,
Mhm.
pointless.
Yeah.
Like smoked it down, brother. Smoked it down. Just
Mhm.
throw it away. Both interceptions he had, if you go back and watch, he had got routes underneath that he just didn't take. Um, and I just can't. I can't keep hearing this. He doesn't have trust in the receivers thing. Like,
Agree.
somebody sent a video of Josh Allen making all of these like amazing tight window throws to guys like Isaiah McKenzie, and
Mhm.
just whoever was wearing the Bills uniform at the time. And he's firing these balls in tight coverage, these tight windows, and just trusting guys to make the plays. Well, what's wrong
Mhm.
now?
Yep.
What's wrong now? Why?
Mhm.
Why? What happened to that quarterback? You
I'm
know,
not s
and ultimately, um, I'm not buying this. Like somebody said this earlier today. Oh well, they neutered him. They took his ability away to take those chances. Dog, you're making $45 million.
Mhm.
You're making a fifth, almost a fifth of the salary cap. What are they going to say to you if you go out there and throw the ball in the tight windows and it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Pack your locker up. You're done. No,
Mhm.
you are Josh Allen, and you're not. You don't need everything to be perfect to be successful.
That's right.
You just need to. You just need to go out there and be who you are. Be Josh Allen. Throw the football.
Mhm.
It's a tight window. Throw it and tell the guys, listen, the ball's coming out. They're getting here. They're getting home. I'm not completely trusting the pocket, or maybe don't even say that, but just listen. It's coming out, and it's coming out hot. Covered or not, I'm throwing it, and you need to make a play because we shouldn't lose to a Davis Mills led offense ever in life. So that's where I'm at with that, man. I can't continue to I can't continue to let me not say I can't continue to listen to, because everybody's opinion is valid. If you think that Josh needs more help than what he currently has, then what, I can't argue with you on that. I just can't go there with you. Would it be better if he had better wide receivers? Absolutely, but he's got a great offensive line. despite what it looked like in Houston, a lot of those sacks should have been should have threw the ball away or taken off and run. Uh, you know, a lot of those things should have been avoided. Take
Yep.
the check down early, my guy. They're dropping back in
Exactly.
the cover two. Throw the underneath route and let
Yep.
them come up and make a tackle. One thing that was, I think we talked about, maybe not on the pod, but on our spaces, was that uh, the Texans have a really, really, really bad issue with making tackles. They have a high missed tackle percentage.
Mm-hmm.
What better way to test that out than by throwing it to your guys that are difficult to running backs
Mm.
and the underneath yards after the catch guys,
Yep.
Samuel, Shakir,
We
you
saw
know,
some of that with Shakir, right? Where he made some of those plays
yeah,
happen in this game. And
yeah.
yeah.
You know, another guy that's pretty good after the catch, that's difficult to tackle too, is Keon Coleman. He
Yep.
just didn't have a jersey, so you know, um, it just stuff a
Frustrating.
bad
Very,
taste. You know, yeah, very
yeah,
frustrating,
very frustrating.
um, very disheartening because this feels like a year that the Bills could, if they had their stuff together, they kind of cruise. You feel like if the Bills are playing well, like if the offense was playing as efficiently and effectively as they were last year, and McDermott's going to call the defense, you kind of think to yourself, the Bills can kind of cruise to Santa Clara, man. Like there's
Hmm.
no real bump in the road, if for lack of a better phrase. Like I'm not, you don't necessarily fear an Indiana. I mean Indianapolis. You don't necessarily fear a Patriots team, even though we lost to them. I mean, we lost to them by a field goal, and we turned the ball over 3 times. You don't really fear them. You don't really fear the Chargers with both their tackles missing and
Yep.
you know some other things that are going on with them.
Mari Hampton's been
You
out. Like they got some other guys out too. So
right. So
hmm
you just don't fear those guys.
hmm
But
Yep. And listen, didn't Kansas City get to Super Bowl last year without Rasheed Rice?
yeah,
Did you
yeah,
hear their fans talking about Patrick Mahomes and you know didn't have this, didn't
nope,
have that? Now, granted, they got blitzed to the Super Bowl, but they got there. They got to the Super Bowl. I mean, what's you telling me, Josh, like our wide receiver room isn't as good as Kansas City's last year? It is.
right,
It's
right.
it's not as bad as it's not great, but it's not as bad as people as fans make it out to be, in my opinion, either. And again, Will, you had it dead on. We talked about it. You said no touchdowns this game for Josh is okay. And his line was 24 of 34 for 253, which is about right in this kind of game, right? But the turnovers, they were just critical in this game. We just could not have it.
Brutal,
And
bro.
yet
Brutal.
we did. So yeah, it's absolutely brutal. But we move on to we do have a big game on Sunday, albeit against a team that, the Bills have had some success with of late against a defense that doesn't, I mean, I believe they're 31st against the pass. So hopefully I can open some things up for Josh in this game, but we'll have to see how that looks. But yeah, we've put ourselves in a really bad corner where we really didn't expect to struggle like this. Like you said, couple adjustments. We're 9-2. We're floating right now. We're 9-2. We got New England and New England. We win that game. We're on our way to the 1 seed. Now we could be on the outside looking in on Thanksgiving weekend if we mess around here on Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh.
Bro, if we lose this game on Sunday, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
They're 20th in scoring. Like they're 20th in our points allowed per game. Not really
Mm-hmm.
that much worse than us. They're at 23.9 and we're 21. I mean, we're 22.9, but let's see. What are you doing?
I believe they're 31st in yards passing against. So, I mean, but I was told by a specific Steeler fan though that once they move Jalen Ramsey to safety, everything's fixed. But I digress. But I'll leave that for another day.
Yeah, they're old. Like they're an old team. I'm not. What the only thing that worries me about this game is whether or not we get our tackles back. I think I'm like Brown's out. I'm 100% sure Spencer Brown's not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
But Deion Dawkins is in protocol, the concussion protocol. So
Yep.
yeah, they're
Yep.
31st in passing yards allowed per game. So I mean that's definitely
Absolutely. I do
there's
have
definitely
for
one
us
way to
here.
attack them.
Yep.
You said
I
what?
do have our injury report here. And it's pretty full this week, as you can tell. I figured I'd bring this up or even see. Well, Josh is on there with that right elbow, but looks like he's okay. I would expect Bernard. Did they say how long he's going to be out for? Terrell Bernard?
No, but I mean, listen, there's no rush, dog. Take your time, Terrell, and get right, man.
I agree. Maxwell Hairston was limited as well with concussion. So we've seen
Yeah,
that as well. That kind of popped up a little bit. And I agree with you. I don't think Brown or Dawkins are playing this week, Whittle. I would be pretty surprised if either is in there. Especially Brown, like you said, that shoulder. I just don't think it's the best move for them to play him right at this moment.
yeah.
What do you think? So who would we play at right tackle in that situation?
Brian Vandermark. Brian Vandermark will play right tackle, and Tylen Grable will play left. Now, Tylen Grable is not. Grable's he's full, so Grable's gonna play. All right, no problem.
Okay.
That's that.
Yep.
Grable's playing. Um, sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Real quick.
Did I mess something up there on the so yep, want to say happy Thanksgiving to you, Johnny, as well. Thanks for joining us, and go Bills as well. And saying hello to you, Ahmed 3. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you all here tonight. And again, we're pivoting to this Pittsburgh game in Pittsburgh. I believe that's a Romo game, Whittle. Romo and Nance.
It's like 420 or something like that. 420, 425.
Yeah.
It's one of those games. I don't know if it's for 425 special CBS game or not, but I know it's like a four. It's in the 4 o'clock time frame.
4 o'clock time frame. So
Yeah,
weather's not going to be great. So that's something else to think about this game.
Yeah. So Grable will play left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He'll match up against Herbig. I mean, Nick Herbig and Highsmith, those guys are over there. I think Highsmith might actually be out, but Herbig's been really good for them. So Grable will have his hands full, but I think Grable's a really good athlete. He just hasn't played football in a while.
Yep.
I would lean on the run. No Derek Harmon. Yes, Casey Hayward's a good player. He is older. Keanu Benton, Yaya Black, like they are capable interior players, big guys as well. Yaya Black is, I think he's like 6'6", 325, something like that, 330. So I mean, those are big guys, but you should still be able to run. There's no Derek Harmon, so the interior pass rush, if you can kind of deal with Hayward, you should be able to step up in the pocket, Josh Allen, and get the football out. Guys should be able to separate against the secondary in Pittsburgh. They should give Josh Allen some pretty good windows to use or go through. You hope, and if they do, we're in good shape. If they don't, then and Josh just doesn't want to throw the football, then we're not in good shape. That's kind of where we are uh, at this point of the season, based on what we've watched um, so far this year. I do again believe the Bills should win this game. They need to win this game. They better win this game. If you still want to make the playoffs quite comfortably,
Mm-hmm.
this is a game you need to win. Uh, the Bills are sitting in the seventh spot right now in the playoffs. If they started tomorrow, I'm actually okay with the path that would be there. It would be the first game would be against Denver in Denver. I think the
Mm-hmm.
Bills win that. Um, then the second game would be against the New England Patriots in
Yep.
New England. That's a division opponent.
Yep.
If we
And
don't turn the ball over 3 times,
Dog had some
we get the
Dog had
win.
a
Yeah.
bookmark comment here. Pat Stink one and done, bookmark it. You know what? I'm gonna call it right now, Whittle. Monday night. New York Football Giants walk into New England. Get it done. Pull off the upset. That team is so due for a win. Right? I mean, they are so due for a good break that I just feel like maybe this is it. This feels like to me this could be a game. Maybe they can catch New England napping on Monday night, but we'll see. But I'm calling the
And
upset.
Vrabel's a really good coach,
He
and
is.
Stephon Diggs is very motivated in year one with the team. Like he's extremely motivated to. I don't
This
think
is
that
true.
I don't think that the veterans on that team are going to allow them to sleepwalk through there. The Giants are going to have to take it, and the way
Yep.
that they do it is by their pass rush overwhelming the injured offensive line
New England.
of the New England Patriots.
Yep.
The Patriots aren't a great. They don't have a great rushing attack, even though Travion Henderson has played well of late. If they can get after Drake May, who likes to kind of hold the ball like a loaf of bread, he's fumbled a couple times and been able to get the ball back. They can get to him. They have an opportunity to get some turnovers and things like that. The Giants are so injured though. I mean, Scatterbu's out,
True.
Neighbors is out.
I think Jackson
I
Dart
don't
should
know.
be out. I don't know why they're playing him, Whittle. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but
Yeah,
I would say see you
I'd
in 2026, man.
probably play Jameis in this, but do you really want Jameis going up against Christian Gonzalez and
Yeah,
Carlton
but
Davis?
true. But when I have Dart with multiple concussions this year, I can't be messing with that. Like he gets
No,
another one.
that's fair.
That
That's
I
fair.
mean, I don't know. I think it's and are they winning anything this year? No, it's not like they're fighting for a playoff spot. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's fair. 100% fair. I mean, if you prioritize the health of the young quarterback overall, that is
hmm
that's a fair way to. That's the right
yeah.
way to go about approaching this game on Monday. But
But it
um,
is Joe
you know,
Schoen, so who's not not doing well in New York. So
they're
we'll
gonna do what they're gonna do, man.
yep, indeed.
So the Pittsburgh game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers probably won't play. I mean, his wrist injury is like really it's still pretty bad. I don't. I know he didn't practice today. Let's see what happens towards the end of the week. I mean, this is obviously going to be a wait and see situation.
hmm
Uh, but listen, go in there and run the football. Uh, you know, just go in there and run the football. Take
Yep.
your shots when they're available. Gabe Davis has had, pretty, he's been pretty successful against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's keep that going. I don't know what's going on between Joe Brady and Josh Allen, but like sit them guys in a room and figure this out. Like that's where
Yep.
you know.
Well, I think you said
Uh,
it too, or maybe you said it, or someone in spaces like you can't be afraid to tell Josh how it has to be, right? And
yeah,
somebody has to say, "Listen, Josh, you could put the cape on every so often, right? It's kind of funny against Kansas City. He played that efficient game, right? That we were looking for, right? But in games that
Yeah,
call for more, like Thursday night, he doesn't.
Atlanta
Right?
was another one.
Atlanta,
Yeah,
he doesn't. Right? It's like those are the games where I want more of that,
freshman.
and I would rather see him put the cape on against Kansas City. It's weird, right? You would think that it would be the opposite, but it hasn't been that way this year, and it's cost
And there's
us.
one thing that one of the Kansas City fans told me about Joe Brady. He said, "Listen, Brady is going to continue to do what he's always done, which is get away from the run when the numbers present a problem. When the numbers don't work out in his favor, he's going to go away from running the football. Either it's him or Josh Allen. But
Mhm.
that word that man told me um, in the offseason about this team, it rings true because when the numbers don't work out in the Bills' favor, they stop running.
Yep,
Even
and
when you
sometimes
should continue to try to lean into it.
yep.
But ultimately, this offense is not the offense is scaring me more than the defense is. I know the defense has its issues. I understand that. I'm well aware of the defense being very boom or bust. You're getting a TFL or no gain on a run, or it's an explosive. That's the way it's going. Got it. I understand that, and I'm comfortable with that. What I'm not comfortable with is the offense being able to put up 40 on the Buccaneers and then not hitting 20 against Houston. Granted, two totally different defenses, but you can't even put up 20 with Josh Allen at quarterback. Come on, bro. That doesn't, Josh Allen and James Cook are there. You gotta get to 20. Like you gotta get to you should be able to put up 20 points. Two
Mhm.
touchdowns, two field goals. You should be
Yep.
able to do that.
I remember we had a special teams touchdown this game, folks. So we really only put up 13 points in this game
Yeah,
offensively. So yeah, looks like put up 19. Let's not forget Ray Davis is who's found a niche for himself. Whittle is a really good kick returner. So
bro. Listen.
didn't expect that, but
Yeah. Um. We'll we'll get into the Brandin Cooks thing soon too. Did you talk about Brandin Cooks already?
a little bit. But I wanted to get your thoughts
Okay.
on what you thought of that move overall and how it'll impact the rest of the way.
I mean, I think it's a good move. Brandin Cooks. Obviously we have a need at wide receiver. We have a need at a guy. We have a need when it comes to someone who can separate. We do have that need.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a guy that's proven to be able to separate and make plays in this league despite being undersized. So I don't mind it. Um, but it comes back to the OC. Is Brady gonna just throw this guy screens and work him in mesh and have him run end arounds? Like, if that's what he's gonna do, then there's no point in bringing him in.
Mhm.
There's no point. Um, you know, those are the questions those are the things that I did not think that I would have to ask about this year. Um, Brian Dayball gets fired, and the first thing I'm thinking when he gets fired is, hey, bring him back as an offensive consultant because
Mhm.
Josh was really good when he was here. Even if you just bring Dayball back and have him sit on the sideline and
Mhm.
wait for Josh to come off the field and say, bro, what was this? Like, what were you looking at?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
bad
But I'm
decision
sure
at
McDermott would think that would be undermining Brady and but and you never
but I
know
don't
about their
care.
relationship either. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah,
you, but we all know
yeah.
how this works
That,
with
that
these
that's the
guys.
other part. It's just like the relationship between Dayball and McDermott, clearly it's not, you know, not
It
conducive to
wrote.
a reunion. So,
Nope. At least from what we've seen, I'm not sure. I mean, that handshake kind of showed it all last year. I mean, that was the coldest post-game handshake I
yeah,
think I've ever seen. I mean, that was the quickest
it's
one
just,
ever. It was like, boom.
it's just
Yeah,
like
it was like a half second of they didn't even look each other in the eye. It was
they
like,
didn't even close hands. Like I don't. Did they even close?
no,
Did they even?
no,
Was there even a grip? I don't think it was a grip. It just
I don't think
we're
so.
going through the
No.
motions because we have to. I'm here so I don't get
Hmm.
fined. It was one
Yep.
of those situations.
He has worked with Sirianni in the past, I believe, in Philly. So I think he's worked with them a little bit. So I'm
Yep.
not crazy. I'm not that surprised that Philly moved in on that. But again, that's what great organizations do. And I wish we could have put that away and maybe Bean or someone said, listen, Sean, we're going to bring him in and this is just the way it's going to be. Right. And you're going to work with him to help our
Yeah.
franchise quarterback do whatever it takes to get over the hump. Right. Whittle, that's what we got to do. I mean, you got to put some feelings aside. You got to put this, cozy culture that the Bills have, which I think is good. Right. I think a good culture is very important, but you can't be afraid to take a risk here and there with stuff that you feel's going to put a little tension. Like I could use a little tension in that room sometimes, right? I mean, didn't Stevie Johnson say that he needs Josh to be a little more of an a-hole, basically? I mean, think about it, right? I understand where he's coming from, right? It's okay to have a little bit of that sometimes. It's okay to have
Yeah.
a little bit of butting heads. It's just something I feel like we're missing right now, and maybe it's a little too
It's
good.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's so um I don't I do I think the team misses a guy like Mac Hollins, and not necessarily because don't get me wrong, I was one of the only people who said last year when we signed him, I don't
You
know,
were big
guys,
on
this
that
Mac
signing.
Hollins guy, he's pretty good. You guys are gonna like him. No, Mac Hollins is
Mhm.
old, he stinks, he couldn't stay, guys are telling me, oh, he couldn't make an impact with the Raiders who need wide receivers. They didn't keep him. I said, I'm telling you guys, this guy, Matt Collins, he's pretty good. What
Mhm.
Matt Collins
I'm with
brought
you.
was attitude. That's what he brought. He brought attitude. He brought a mentality of fight. Like he brought like a fight, um, a fighting spirit, like a really uh, in your face type of bravado that this team is clearly missing. Like there's no attitude. There aren't real tough guys on this team. Spencer Brown, um, I'm not even gonna go there first. They just don't have tough guys. They don't have goons. There are no, there are no fighters. There are no, in your face personalities um on the offensive side of the football at all. Like none. Um I don't really think we have them on defense either. Uh but they're not like that. Like none of these guys are like that. And they're not
Mhm.
like that, and neither is the coach. I think the head coach is McDermott, and I mean, I I know the coach McDermott. I think McDermott is that type of person. I think he is competitive. I think he wants to win. I think he does enjoy uh, when the defense takes things away from the offense. I think he enjoys that when his defense takes things away from the other team's offense, when he can outsmart that offensive coordinator, make that quarterback look bad. I think he enjoys
Oh
that.
yeah.
I
Yep.
just
It's in
don't
his
think he
blood.
outwardly shows it.
Yeah.
Don't he doesn't outwardly show it. He's not a showy guy. He's extremely humble. You know, as far as like from what we see, he's extremely humble.
Mhm.
Um, very gracious, not doesn't grandstand, doesn't he's not combative, overly combative, or anything like that. And the team has taken that personality.
Yep.
So the quarterback is not um he's not that dog. He doesn't have that dog in him. Uh
Mhm.
he has a dog in him. It's just not a pit bull or a Rottweiler. It's more
Yeah.
like a golden retriever. I think
Yeah.
um, our friend of the show, Rob Crippen, said that Josh is
Mhm.
Josh is not a pit bull. He's a golden retriever,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's right. I mean, Diggs was the pit bull. That was
Yes.
the one.
And it's good to have that
Mac
mix.
Hollins
Maybe it helps him along
was
the
the
way,
pit.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
Mac Hollins was the pit bull. And I
Hmm.
mean, I thought Spencer Brown was. He started off his rookie year. He was really getting into it with people, and he played with a nasty streak. I haven't seen that in years now.
Yep.
Deion Dawkins, I don't want to call him a fake demon, but I mean, what are you doing, bro? Like, can you only get tough with Michael Clemens? Is that the only guy that you play with an edge against?
Yep.
Because you don't play, you're not playing with an edge against other guys. You're not.
Little Dave. I need him to be a golden retriever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good
yeah, man.
one.
Something.
Yeah, yep, yeah, just a little extra, right? Just a little more. Again, I think that leads to what Stevie Johnson was saying, right? It's okay. He doesn't even have to be, that edgy. He just be a little more edgy. So it's just he is the guy. Like he is the guy that they're leaning on. Like it's okay to say something a little unpopular to your teammates or get in there, get in them. He doesn't have to be a crazed, go rah rah, just something. That's what I want to see. Sometimes it calls for it. Mahomes does it.
And it has to be in the game. Like
Mhm.
I can't keep seeing Josh Allen go to the sideline, sit by himself. Nobody comes over there and talks to him. We don't see it, at least. If it's happening, we're not seeing it. Nobody's saying anything to the quarterback. He's just sitting there like he's not a part of the team. And what happened to the Josh Allen that will come off the field fiery and go to the offensive line and yell at them like, "Yo, where's that guy?"
Yeah, what happened
And
there?
yo,
Oh.
I mean, I tell you what, I would compare it to when in the military, a brand new lieutenant comes in, right?
Mhm.
Brand new lieutenant, fresh out of OCS or ROTC, we call them ROTCs.
Sure.
You get a fresh lieutenant from
Mm.
West Point, ROTC, or OCS, whatever. You
Mhm.
get them in there. Uh, it's up to the platoon sergeant to determine what type of officer that lieutenant is going to be. The
Mm.
platoon sergeant, who's usually a senior enlisted non-commissioned officer, E7, E6, he determines how the lieutenant learns how to be a platoon leader.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
on the ground level, when I got a new lieutenant and you know, my my last lieutenant that I got is actually now he just finished up his command tour with the unit with
Oh.
my old unit, and now he's going into his staff position. Um,
Mhm.
but it was up to me to kind of guide him. So he would get orders from the command, the commander, he'd get orders from the captain, who would get him from higher up or whatever. And then he would come and say, "This is what we need to do, and this is how I think we should do it." And if me being experienced in, leading the platoon, I
Mhm.
can tell him whether or not his plan, sir, your plan needs some work, or this is a good plan. I think we can get this done.
Mm.
But it's up to me to give him that guidance because he doesn't know whether or
Yeah.
not it can get done. This is just what he was taught. So this is what he was taught. He's applying that to putting his plan together. Now I'm going to tell him whether or not that can actually get done and how we're going to do it. Right? If that
Mhm.
makes sense. So
Absolutely.
Josh Allen should be doing that with his receivers. He should be telling his receivers where he needs them to go, especially these younger guys. Keon Coleman, Tyrell Shavers, the new guys, Joshua Palmer. He should be going to these guys and saying, hey, listen, this is what I need. This is what the plan is. But this is what I need from you in order to get it done. We're not seeing that.
Absolutely.
We're not. We're not seeing it from the offensive coordinator going to Josh and saying, Josh, you're not doing what I'm asking you to do. Like I'm waiting for Brady to leave the booth and come downstairs to the field and say, dog, what's this? Because this is not what we talked about or worked on all week. And you're ignoring what's available. Like, I need that. I need that. I think Diggs was training Josh to be that type of fiery leader or fiery personality within himself. Like, I'm not asking Josh to be Stephon Diggs. I just think that Stephon Diggs put a battery in his back to have Josh be more emotional and channel his inner emotion out. Like, channel it and then push it out. Push it out, and that energy is transferable.
Yep.
If you played sports before, I'm one of my favorite point guard I ever played with, my boy Eugene, my boy Gino, and we were playing this tournament. It was our company, our unit playing against the the federal prison guard team, and they had a bunch of guys on there that played college ball and all that stuff. And we played in these different games, and so we're playing the prison guards, and Gino gets fouled like super hard. And I just come out the game. I just come out, sat down on the side. Gino gets fouled, and I jump up and I look the whole bench. We get up and look because Gino's our best player. So we go and look, and like there's no flagrant call. There's nothing. Like I said, you know what? No problem. Walk right back over to the coach. I said, bro, I'm going back in. I'll be right back. Went to the scores table, checked myself in. Got back in the game. The dude that fouled Gino, I just ran right up next to him. Forearm, right to his side, pushed him on the ground. Flagrant foul on, I got a flagrant foul for it. And after I got that flagrant foul, turned right back around, walked back to the bench and sat down. Because that was my job. My job at that moment was to get back in the game and enforce you're not going to do what you just did to our guy.
Yep.
Josh needs guys like that.
Yep. Yes. I agree.
Centric, yes. The 2021 Josh Allen he's yelling, visibly yelling, pumping the team up, and have that. Josh is getting beat up and sacked all over the place. A lot of it is his fault, but so what? Where's the offensive lineman that's going to get up and snatch one of the defenders off of him, push a guy, even though they didn't do anything wrong? But, dog, where's the fight at?
I'm with you. Yeah. I mean, he needs to be that leader at that point. Like you said, even if it is his fault, just come out and say, hey, guys, come on. We got to, be that leader. Be the guy to, and like Dog said, you got to hold him accountable. But he's also got to hold others accountable too, and try to be that guy to lead this team and get them to the, and that's just not happening. I agree. He's just on the sidelines. He's like this. He's like, it's just very stoic. Just,
There's no fight in this team. There's no fight in it. Not on the offensive side of the football at all. None.
Yeah.
None. Josh Allen says, I'm more than just a football player. My wife told me that.
Well, yeah, that's okay. I mean, but it comes. See, what happens is when we see this type of behavior on the sideline. But we see
more than a football player. I get
You're
it.
right.
I'm not
Yeah.
diminishing that. You can be more than a football player. Not when you're playing football. When you're playing football, you are a football player. Play football, dog.
Yeah.
And the
We
most
just got to see
important
more in the game.
thing is winning that particular game you're playing in. Deion Dawkins says, just because you don't win a Super Bowl doesn't mean it wasn't a successful season. Sure, if you're the Jets, yeah. Like, if you're the Jets and you clear 500, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Those
If
are
you
the
make
kind of
the
things I want to
playoffs,
hear deep in the
playoff
offseason. Not now. I
multiple
don't want to hear that
years, yes, that's a
now.
that's a success. That's a step in the right direction. When you're the
Hmm.
Buffalo Bills, you've won the division 5 years in a row. Why aren't you mad that you're in second place in your division with 6 games to go? Why aren't you upset
2.5 games,
about that?
almost 3.5 games out, 3+ games out, by the way, with 6 games to go.
Why aren't you
And that,
upset?
yeah, they should be fuming.
I don't get that.
I
Why
mean,
why is it a successful season if you don't win the Super Bowl? We've been winning t-shirts and hats and a
hmm
couple playoff games a year, every year.
hmm
What's next? There should
yep,
be a progression. Like if you work a civilian job and there's no progression after years, they fire you. Like you're
hmm
done, or you
yep,
or you just stuck in the same spot. And
yep,
the promotion cycle passes you by. In the military, if you don't progress, you age out, and they like, and you age out of that specific spot. Like if you don't get promoted at a certain point, they get rid of you.
yeah,
Because why are we keeping you around? You
hmm
don't do anything. You're not bettering yourself. You're not getting better. You're not advancing.
yep.
What are the Bills doing?
I agree. Dog brought up a great point here about right here where it says you could be a captain, made a captain, but not a leader. Now, I'm a hockey guy. I'm a hockey guy. It's pretty rare that the I would say it's rare. It's less common you think that the best player is the captain on the hockey team, right? The Sabres did this with Jack Eichel, where they handed him the captain because he was supposed to be their franchise savior, right? He wasn't a captain at all, right? Sometimes guys like that are not captain material, and maybe the captain on this team is Reggie Gilliam, right? I mean, who knows what you know what I mean? It could be anybody. It could be a player that we're not even speaking about that could be the true leader on that team. And there's nothing wrong with that either, right? And sometimes that's just the way it is in a sport like in any sport.
I disagree. I disagree. This is football.
Yeah,
Football is a
but
violent sport.
it
It's
is.
a violent sport. Like you can't win this. You can't. I don't think you can win this game being nice. I don't think you can be
Agree.
as successful as you. I don't think you can be as successful as you need to be without being nasty. Somewhere you got to have some level of nasty on your team. Have to.
Yep. Yes. Yep. I agree with you. They do need more of that in the building. Again,
You got to
they
have nasty on your team.
they have the I think you said it best. I mean, I think we were talking about in the space where sometimes they're just more worried. You feel like sometimes they're more worried about that, oh, this guy was a great in their community, or he was great in this. I mean, that's all great. Don't get me wrong. And I applaud the Bills for bringing in a lot of great guys in this team, but it's okay to kind of look. I don't want to say look past it, but you need you need those leaders, you need those dogs, you need those guys that kind of lead by example. Need some
Yeah, but
grit,
you can have
Yeah.
that. You can have
Hmm.
that, especially on the offensive side of the football, without
Hmm.
going to get criminals. Like you don't have to
Oh
have
yeah. I'm not saying,
George
it's just,
Pickens. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like Matt
Yep.
Collins, I've never been in trouble for anything, as far as
Whittle,
I know.
maybe
Matt's a
Pickens would have
dog,
been,
though.
maybe Whittle would have been, maybe Pickens would have been perfect for this team, right?
Well,
Maybe that edginess.
if Pickens was on
Look at
this
his
team, we're not
ability.
having this conversation.
Yeah, we're
If
we're,
Pickens
we're
was on
10-1
this team,
right now.
we're talking about being 10-1 right now.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
maybe
super
we
nice
need a
team
little
with
bit
no
of that
grit.
edge.
Yep. Flag football.
Yep.
There
But
you go.
this team
There you
should
go.
be able to, you know what? You remember New England in their day, Whittle? They would bring in guys that I wouldn't say they were questionable characters, but they had the ability to bring in a guy that maybe didn't succeed somewhere else, and
Yeah,
they became part of it. That's what the Bills should be right now. They shouldn't be afraid to go
yeah.
get these guys. We should
Got a
no.
guy like
They
LeGarrette Blunt. brought in,
Yeah, and look how he transformed his
punched the
career.
kid out and
Hmm.
punched the kid out after a football game because of some of the things that he
Yep.
said to him. Yeah, like
Yep.
guys like that, Corey
Yeah.
Dillon. Like, yeah, they had
Absolutely.
guys that
That had
the
some
retread
things,
guys
right?
they brought in. Yeah,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
that's the
Yeah,
Bills. You would think that they would say, "Hey, we have this. We have the culture in this room. We should be able to take care of that player. They shouldn't be a distraction. They shouldn't be bringing us down." And maybe that was, maybe Diggs had some. Again, he wanted more, and maybe that it's kind of wild how this story is developed. Whittle 3 years later, and
I'm just
now I
saying,
just
man.
believe a lot of Bills fans feel differently about that whole story now than they did when it first happened.
Listen, I didn't like the way Diggs handled the Bengals game. I didn't like that at all. And
So,
why I didn't like it is because I can pull up Stephon Diggs' playoff stats. Like, who
mhm.
you yelling at, dog? You don't
Yep.
do nothing. You don't do anything when the lights get bright.
True, but maybe there was a reason that we just didn't know about that was deeper than we realized. Maybe he wanted more to
I'm
do.
sure. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, I'm sure it was.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
so what? Like, you don't do anything, dog. Like, when the
Yeah.
lights get bright, we can't depend on you.
Agreed.
Fast
But
forward
he's
to
still we still need that presence of
2021. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like a guy like Mac Hollins, you probably needed to keep. You probably needed to keep
Yeah,
that
I
guy.
think that was a misstep by Bean.
Yeah.
And the
And
thing is, it was right there too.
say what you want about Jordan Phillips being washed and Shaq Lawson being washed. Like, okay, you're right. But one thing them dudes is they're fighters. Like, ain't
Yep.
nobody trying them at all.
Mhm.
Nobody.
I like bringing back Shaq Lawson. Actually, I'm all favor
Yeah,
that.
they're like nobody's trying those guys because
Hmm.
they play with an edge. Like they're edgy players. Like they're not afraid of confrontation. Jordan
Hmm.
Porter, another edgy player. Like Porter
Hmm.
was always like that. But where are where are your goals? Where are your instigators? Where are your guys
Have to have it.
where are your
Yep.
edge players? Don't have them on this roster because the coach doesn't have that. Like the coach
Hmm.
doesn't show that.
Yep.
So
You
these
see,
guys are taking the mentality, they're taking on the identity of the head coach, which
hmm
is very buttoned up, politically correct, hardworking, head down. No. That's cool for the majority of the team. That's what you want the culture to be. But on Sunday, nah, bro. I want somebody out there very, very edgy,
hmm
very, very talkative, very, very chippy. That's what I want.
could not agree more.
Um, I I tell you what, I was a big Keon guy. I was a big Keon Coleman guy before he
Hmm.
got drafted. Um, when he scored that touchdown last year on Tariq Woolen, and Woolen had been, yapping a little bit to him. Goes right up to him, taps him on his head, and taps his helmet. I went up top on you, dog.
Hmm.
We need that. He blocked that dude off the field into the.
Hmm.
See, dog just need to we just need to get dog up here. It's like, thank you. This is why I love
I know.
D-ball, accountability.
Yep.
That's because
Yep.
I ride any OC out when we beat the Giants that year. They messed up
Hmm.
before halftime, and he let them know. And you know what he
Yep.
did? He did the same thing with Josh Allen. Josh
Hmm.
Allen screwed up. He would go grab the tablet, come over there, sit him down, say, "What is this?" Like very demonstratively showing, dude, what are you doing? This
Yeah.
is there, and you're not doing it.
Yep.
It's
I couldn't
okay to
agree more.
coach. Like some players need to be coached hard. Josh
Hmm.
might just be a guy that needs to be coached hard. You're sitting
Most
there letting
players
him
respond to
stirring
that well, though.
his own juices on the sideline, and it's not working. He's not getting better. Like he's getting worse. The
Yep.
regression is happening right in front of our eyes. He is
Yep.
taking more sacks. He's not getting pressured as much. Like his pressure to sack ratio is ridiculous. It's what it was in 2019. It's that high. That means
Yep.
that more of the pressures that he gets are turning into sacks, and he's not
Yep.
getting pressured a lot. That tells me the offensive line's doing their job. The
Mm-hmm.
quarterback's holding on to the football too long. Why is the quarterback holding on to the football too long? Because he doesn't want to throw the ball underneath. Well, why should he throw the ball underneath? Because that's what the offense is built to protect him. Offensive
Yep.
line blocks for him. You run the football, throw the ball underneath, trust the guys at the skill position spots to do the heavy lifting by getting yards after the catch. That's the offense that was built because Bills fans in unison said after the Bengals game, I don't want to see my quarterback look like that again. I don't want to see him with bloody elbows and bloody knees and guys are pushing him around. And we saw it. Well, we saw it Sunday. You saw it
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. Saw.
Yep.
I'm sorry, not Sunday. Thursday. Saw it Thursday against Houston. Where do
Yep.
we go from here?
Yep. And again, these guys, coaches, the great coaches, some of the great coaches are not there to be your friend. They're right. They're there to, I mean, I think I may have told you this story before, but my late uncle used to work. He was part owner of a dealership in Jersey, and he played for a guy. The guy that owned it was a former player for the Giants, played under Parcells. So I got to meet him, right? And he trolled me and showed me a Super Bowl 25 ring, which I thought was pretty funny. Right. Of course,
Was it
but
Carl,
anyway, what's that?
was
It
it
was
Carl Banks?
No, it was Brad Benson. He used to play for Penn State, play for the Giants. So I asked him, I said, tell me about Parcells. He says, oh, I hated the SOB. Hated him. Couldn't stand him. I said, well, can I ask you why? Because all the things he said during the week, I wanted to prove him so wrong on Sundays for all the stuff he was talking about during the week. But then I said to him, would you rather play for a different coach? He said, I would run through a wall for Parcells. So see how he wasn't there to be his friend. He wasn't there to be my friend, but he gave me the tools to be a very successful offensive lineman for many years and gave me everything that I had now. He wasn't there to be his pal, right? And maybe that's what you were saying and Dog were saying about Dable. He's not there to be your friend necessarily, but you know how Josh looked at him as like a father figure, and sometimes you need that, right?
Yep.
His dad's not with him on the road. This is it, and like Deion Dawkins, being a pro is hard. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to be a professional athlete, and sometimes you need that guy like Dable in your face, right? Saying things like that. Say, hey, what are you doing? So that story always stuck with me when Brad said that about Parcells. I still think about it. And it was just, he said, yeah, he wasn't there to be his friend, and it worked. I mean, Parcells is one of the greatest coaches of all time. So that, again, I know it's a different era, but still, I believe players would respond to that maybe in a different way nowadays, but in a very similar pattern. I still believe coaches, they want to be led. But yeah, I'm with you. I would still like to see Dable come back. I mean, listen, we still got 6 games to go. We still got the playoffs. We'll see how things look after this, but I don't want this team to be afraid to make a change if they have to make a change. Like, even if we have to bring Brian Dable back as a head coach, right? We have 6 games left, right?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, 7-4. Okay,
6,
gotcha.
yep,
Gotcha.
7-4. So speaking of that,
I have 5 in my head. I don't know.
As we get ready to close, because yours truly must get out of here pretty soon. This game's Sunday night. So Pittsburgh looks like a wintry mix coming down. We'll see how that field look. Capaccio said they played a lot of high school games on that field recently. They did resod it. We'll see how that field's going to look. Could be a factor, but again, both teams are impacted by that. But what's your feeling? We got the injury report is long. Offensive line's going to be a little out of flux. What's your take on Sunday? What are we feeling Monday? What are we feeling this time next week, Whittle? What are we? Where's our headspace? Yep.
The Bills should win this game. They should win this game.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect from the offense, honestly. I think the defense will play well enough to win. But I don't know what to expect from the offense. I don't know what to expect from the offensive coordinator or the head coach. I mean, head coach, the offensive coordinator and the quarterback. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know.
I'm pretty Yeah, I think the Bills are going to get it done this week. And again, even if the Bills get it done, I think they get it done like 27-17, something like that is what my head space is in terms of the score. Maybe Bills pull away late. Maybe it's a kind of a close game. I mean, it is a big game, but I think and JB, welcome JB. TJ Watt does worry me for sure. But again, this comes back to what you talked about earlier about Joe Brady and his game plan and negating that and trying to get Josh some easy throws, get them in rhythm, take those small check downs, right? Just go down the field, utilize your weapons, right? We utilize James Cook, utilize Shakir, utilize. I expect we're not going to see Dalton Kincaid Sunday as well, right? There has been no indicator that he'll be back Sunday.
They're saying he could possibly go.
Mm-hmm.
So I
We'll
don't know.
see.
Like, it's still up in the
I
air.
mean, it would be
I
good, but
wouldn't rush him. I wouldn't rush him. So
yeah, yep. And
if he
again, this
can
doesn't
go,
mean
he
all.
can go.
And all our problems aren't fixed if the Bills win Sunday. But listen, if we get to 8-4, get a little healthier, we got the Bengals coming in next week. We'll get into that next week as well.
With Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting game now too. Kind of saying go Bengals on Thursday night, tomorrow night. Best bets of the week. I'm telling you right now, Whittle, if you have a FanDuel app, I can't bet in California. Bet the Chiefs hard tomorrow. They're going to beat Dallas. I'm telling you, this feels like a Dallas. Don't you feel like Dallas had that huge win
No,
Sunday? You're not feeling it, huh?
I don't think
You
the
like
Chiefs are beating Dallas, man. I don't think
really?
the Chiefs are
Okay.
beating
See, I
Dallas.
feel the
So,
opposite. I feel like this is where the Chiefs start their little run to the
yeah,
playoffs. But
I'm sorry, bro. That Dallas team, dog. Like that's a lot of talent. That's a lot
yeah,
of talent.
little
I think people don't understand the impact of a Quinnen Williams
yeah.
and a Kenny Clark. Like
Yep.
Logan Wilson's playing well. I think they're
Mhm.
going to beat.
Well, I remember when that trade broke, the Parsons trade. I was a little bit on this, but you were more on it. You were saying this was a good trade for Dallas at the time. I remember
Yeah,
that. And now, if you look at it, now
I
that
got
you
a
had
lot of
Quentin
flack
Williams,
for it too.
you did. But you know
People
what?
told me I was dumb. I didn't know football. Yeah,
Got,
yeah.
got to give Jerry Jones
I
credit.
promise you,
Yeah.
financially the Cowboys are going to be healthy. Like they're going to be better off financially, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm already picking. I already think Dallas is going to win their division next year. I think Dallas makes it. I think
Wow.
Dallas
Well,
makes a
they're
run
going to be
next year.
fighting with Philly. Yeah, Philly's going to have to make some changes too. And
I don't think
well,
so. I
you
think
think?
Dallas is going to comfortably win 13 or 14 games next year. They're
Wow. Well,
going to
that's a
be very,
whew,
very good.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay, you heard it
yeah,
here
dog.
first. Yeah.
If they keep Pickens,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
keep Pickens, they're gonna win
That's
13
going
or
to be
14
tough.
games.
They're going to have to do
No
some
problem.
cap gymnastics on that, but we'll see how that works. But listen, I got
Yeah.
to give Dog I mean, he is at it right now. I need Dog in this locker room on Sundays. I say it every week. But yeah, he is riled up and ready to go, man. I need his energy brought. If we could just get him to talk to Josh for a while, and that would be perfect. Like I think that would solve a lot of our problems. But I
Yeah.
think the Bills get it done Sunday, and like I said, we'll hopefully we'll get 8-4. Should get us on the path to make the playoffs. That shouldn't be a problem. But now it just comes down to, well, are they going to have to do it away from Highmark the whole time? That's likely.
It might need to get away from Hallmark. I mean,
Maybe, but they haven't shown an ability in the play. Well, under McDermott, they have never won a playoff game on the road. But maybe this is how they
all
do it,
playoff games
right?
on the road have been like there was year one against Jacksonville, whatever.
Yeah,
Year
that was
two
a
against
yeah.
Houston, that was stolen. Like I'm
Mhm.
sorry,
Yeah.
that was like that game. The Bills
Dog
should have
is
won.
heated. Dog is heated. I could just hear his voice in his face right now. If this was his
Bro, I'm
face, he'd be
heated
on
too,
airplane.
man. I'm tired. I'm
Yep.
tired of. I am tired of watching. I'm tired of watching this. Like it feels
It's like
uninspired. Like it feels like uninspired football. Like they
yep.
run into adversity and fold.
Yep. And we do this every year in
Like
the middle of
I
the year.
don't get
Why
it.
is that? And doesn't that come back to what Dog said about accountability, about coaching? We're seeing the same patterns from this team. I know we have injuries, Whittle, but every team's got injuries. right?
The most. I think one thing that sticks out to me was what Deion Dawkins said about McDermott this year. He said this year McDermott's been more of a player's coach, and we're seeing a rise in penalties. We're seeing a lack of execution. Um, it's almost like they only listen to McDermott directly. Like the coordinators can't seem to get out and get out of their own way. We're seeing a rise in the penalties on the offensive line, rise in the penalties um, for illegal formation, motion. It's just stuff that's not really characteristic of the Bills. And you know what's happening? What changed? The coach
Mhm.
got a little softer. The cameras showed up for Hard Knocks, and this team
Mhm.
easy to root for, but like
Yeah, a lot
they
of great
don't
guys on
they
this
don't
team,
feel
but that
tough. They don't feel
yeah,
like a tough team.
they gotten tougher, but not tough enough is how I kind of feel right now. They've
Have they
they've
gotten
become
tough?
I would say I'm putting the emphasis on the word compared to 21. But in terms of their interior lines, in terms of certain aspects of this team,
Yeah. I mean,
maybe
they're
a little
better.
bit, but
Yeah,
not.
they're better in spots. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
like you
I
said,
wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't know. Like
yeah,
this is
it's a
pretty
good point.
daunting to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep.
Like those guys play with more. I think those guys play with more edge than what we currently
Hmm.
see. There's not enough edge.
Yep.
I don't know
The-
what is it gonna take. Like
I almost
I
feel
don't
like they
know.
feel that we got this runway, we could just turn it on, win 6 in a row, and but you know how hard it is for them to run the table, win 6 straight games in this league, especially considering they got Philly on the schedule. You got
Yeah,
Cleveland's
how do you
defense
beat
is no
Philly?
joke.
With
I mean,
how do
Miles
you beat
Garrett,
Philly?
18 sack Miles Garrett. You don't think that's going to be a
I
problem?
mean,
Listen, we should beat him.
Miles Garrett's played against us twice. He got one sack,
True,
2 games.
but we'll see how this
So
iteration of the Bills goes in that respect. So,
yeah,
but let's
fair
just
enough.
listen. Listen. We got Pittsburgh this week. Like, yeah, that's the focus. I'm trying not to get too far ahead, but I guess and that's what we do as fans. We do get ahead um, of the game, but we'll
They
see
better
how it
violate.
looks. But we'll
Yeah.
definitely see how things look.
Listen, they better violate Pittsburgh Sunday. Like that. That
Yeah,
will go go out there and dominate. I'll feel better.
yeah. I just want and the dominate doesn't even
I
need
just
to
don't
reflect
believe
in
they
the
will.
score. I just need an efficient, strong game across the board. Even if they win by 7, that's the kind of game I'm looking for.
I
Right.
won't feel good about that. Now, if you go
It
out there and
depends
you
how
put
they
up
do it.
30 plus, you put up 30 plus and you hold them to under 20, I'll feel great. I'll
Hmm.
say, wow, let's
Yep.
see, let's see
Yep.
what they do against the Bengals. The Bengals are a
Yep.
much tougher team.
Hmm.
So if you go and if you bring the Bengals in, if they dominate the Steelers Sunday, and then
Hmm.
you go in there and you punch you go band for band with the Bengals and beat them, I feel different. I'm starting to feel different about the team
Yep. Absolutely.
because I believe if you're right and the Patriots lose to the Giants, we're gonna win. We can win the division.
We have a
We
shot.
just have to
Now,
run. We just have to run with
again,
it.
the other problem that the Bills have a little bit with is like even if the Bills beat New England, okay, we got 2 division losses. That gives 1 for New England. So they still, and even if they lose their second, I'm not sure what the tiebreaker comes down to at that point. I got to look at what
Well,
like if they split,
if if they
is it
lose to
conference?
if they lose to the Giants,
Yeah.
that'll give them 3 losses, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it'll be 10-2 or 10-3, and we be 8-4. If we beat them, we beat the Bengals and then beat them. That puts us at 10-4, and that will put them at 10-4. Then they
Hmm.
would have to lose the following week to the Ravens, which will put them at 10-5, And the Bills will need to win the rest of their games.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, and I'm trying to see if I could find what the tiebreakers are. But again, we got a long way to go for that. So let's
Yeah.
just, how about we win Sunday?
Let's just
Let's see what
focus on
happens on
beating
Monday.
Pittsburgh, man. Let's
And even if
let's just
even
get
if New
back in the
England,
win column.
yeah, even if New England wins Monday, I don't even care. I'm worried about what we're doing. I'm not even worried about, the sudden Patriot fans that have come out of the woodworks after 5 years, dusting off their jerseys, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you guys
But
are corny for that. But yeah, you guys are corny.
we
The
know who
way
the real
the
Pats fans
fans
are.
that are
Yeah.
poking your chest out now because your team looks
Hmm.
good, you guys are cornballs. And
Yep.
if you guys struggle next year playing the second place or first place schedule, you better
Yep.
pump your chest just as much. All right,
Hmm. Exactly.
don't
As Dog
disappear. I
would
got
say, keep
bookmarks.
that same energy, right? He
Keep that
likes to
same energy.
keep that same energy, right? So we'll have to see how that goes. So yeah. Oh, by the way, so head to head is the first tiebreaker. By the way, division
Okay.
record is number 2. So if they're both tied in that, the next one is common games, best one loss percentage in games played against common opponents. So that's conference record is actually 4th. So the common games are actually 3rd. So
They'll beat us
we'll
in all because
yeah.
like they beat Atlanta, they beat who else
Hmm.
we lose
My
to? They beat
well,
Miami. Beat,
so we need them to lose to my, but see, yeah, it's going to take a lot to win the division,
what's the we
folks.
lose
It's
to?
gonna. Really, I think we
Falcons.
lost the division. We lost the division, Whittle, when we lost to Miami because we needed that game, because that division game would have given us a possible tiebreaker in that scenario,
Yeah,
and I think that was the death nail. But like I said, all we can do right now is get this
we'll
team
see.
right. Maybe Ed comes back in the playoffs. We'll see. Get some other guys back. Maybe get the line straight, and if they could just get on a roll into the playoffs, and we'll see where it can take us. But listen, Whittle, I do need to close for the night. Want to wish
Let's do it.
everyone a happy Thanksgiving, Whittle, to you and your family as well. Always thankful, not only for the pod, for our friendship, for everything. So it's great to be here every week with you. Look forward to many, many more. And I hope you have a great
Yes, sir.
weekend. And
You too, brother.
everybody out there, enjoy whatever you're doing this weekend. And if you're going to the game, Whittle, Sunday, be safe, going out to
Yeah,
Pittsburgh,
I
and
am.
keep those Steeler fans in line, and especially one in particular that we know. So if you happen to see him,
Only Steeler, the only Steeler fan that I know, uh, I, that I'm looking for is my homegirl that I
yep,
was in the military with. So
there
hopefully
you
she's
go.
going to the game. I'll reach out to her see if she's going out there.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
we'll go from
Yeah,
there.
I've always wanted to see a game out in Pittsburgh. Looks like a pretty cool place to see a game, but I've not been there yet.
Yeah.
But we'll
But
see
shout
how
out
that
to my
goes.
guys, man. Shout out Ralph. Shout out to y'all, man.
Yeah,
Still
good fans. Yep,
through,
absolutely.
man. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep, yep,
We'll see.
absolutely. We'll see how it goes, and I think we come back with a W, and then we'll talk about the Bengals coming in with Joe Burrow. We'll see how they look. You know, I'm really curious.
We'll see
There's actually some
tomorrow. We'll see what they're gonna bring
actually
tomorrow
some
night.
good games tomorrow. Actually, some good
Yeah.
Thanksgiving games for once. They're all 3 of them have some pretty compelling storylines. So
Cowboys
how about
winning that Chiefs game though.
that's it? All right, I'm on the opposite side with
I
you on
think
that,
they're
but
winning that
but
one.
you know who the Chiefs remind me of just a little bit though. They remind me of the '94 Bills when the Bills, after the Bills made their 4th Super Bowl, they missed the playoffs. Right, 1 week they were up, the next week they were blah. The next week they were like a seesaw. That's how the Chiefs have been all year. Like you feel like they're going to get a head of steam going, and then they have a loss that you're not used to seeing. So maybe we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's the same result. I'd love to see them miss the playoffs, but we'll see how that goes.
We'll see. All right,
All right,
bro.
brother. Have a great holiday weekend. Enjoy, and go Bills on Sunday. See how we roll.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.